Hi, Brian Hawkins, Next Step Survival, and today I'm here with number 2 video of prepping from the pantry off-grid style. So I'm in my backyard right now in a canopy, and I'm trying to put together a little outdoor kitchen, a little project that started this morning. And but I'm not going to cook it in here. I'm going to cook it out in a fire pit. What is it? It is zucchini soup. So I've got way too much zucchini from the garden. Do something with it. I'm going to make this big huge pot of zucchini soup in a cast iron Dutch oven, a real big cast iron pot, hanging over a fire pit in the backyard. I haven't started the fire or anything, but I thought what we do is just collect ingredients real quick. I've already got the zucchini picked. I have some green peppers here. I want to maybe grab some garlic and some jalapenos and maybe a little bit of herbs and that. And then we'll go into the pantry and see what we can find on the shelves. So the whole point of this type of video or this type of project is just to see what we can come up with for things that we already have and emulate not having power. Just ignore the fan in the background because that's just keeping the bugs out of here. And let's get started. Alright, so there's the zucchini, and I got a couple of zucchini plants. These are my bell peppers. I think I have enough of those, and I have a bunch of jalapeno peppers. I think I'm going to grab some of these off of here. It's a big pot, so. And we like the jalapenos. Grab one from over here. Alright, so what I want to do now is grab a few, some chives. And then these over here are garlic chives. These are really good. And then a little parsley. I might put some basil in there. I might get some basil too. So this basil is gone to seed and it looks a little neglected, I know, but we'll be able to use some for soup. Probably enough. There's some of these. Alright. I picked up these shears, garden shears from M.I. Gardener. I guess migardener.com. I didn't really check, but he's on YouTube. Real popular guy. Alright, so I'll get this stuff in the house, wash it off, bring it back out, get the rest of that zucchini out of that hot sun. That's not good for it. I already washed the green peppers, I mean the bell peppers. So I think that's pretty much it for the vegetables, or at least from the garden. Real quick, that's the setup we're going to use. Big old cast iron pot hanging over a fire that we need to still set up. So once I go into the pantry and get the ingredients, I'll get that fire going, and then I'll do the prep work while that's doing its thing. So the first thing I'll do is I'll grab some protein. So we'll grab some cold packed chicken. I canned myself. I'll probably just use one jar, but if I need more, there's plenty left. Now I definitely want some tomatoes in there. Now we're using cast iron, and I know it's not ideal, but I don't have a stainless steel or a non-cast iron pot big enough right now that I can hang. And I'd like to get these used up. I canned these in August of 2017, and I have no doubt that they're perfectly fine. So I'm not reluctant at all to use this. And I may need 2 jars. Just like the chicken, we can always come back and grab some more. Even though I'm using tomatoes, I still want some broth. So I'm going to take a couple of jars of this chicken bone broth. I just did this, I don't know, a week or two ago. So this is July 17th of 2021. And oh, look at that. That looks so good. Look at that bottom part. So, yeah. We'll add that to it. Now, every year I can mushrooms. And I never can enough. So I'm going to try to make it a point to can enough. We just love mushrooms. Mushrooms, jalapenos, and bacon. When I say we, I mean me. My wife likes all that except for the jalapeno. But anyway, I always buy a couple cases of that commercial stuff just to keep us going. And I think that's what I used in the last video. So not only do I can the mushrooms, I don't grow them. I wish I could, but I buy those from the market and then can them. I also dehydrate them. So I dehydrated these in October of 2020. So these are pandemic mushrooms. But I'll use some of this. Just to give you some ideas, some other things that I could use. So if I didn't have the fresh jalapenos out in the garden, I'd be using these that I had canned. I have fresh onion already, but again, I could use these. I believe I used those on the last video. The same with the celery. I have fresh right now out of our garden, and I'll use that instead of this. So this is some more dehydrated. So here's some dehydrated jalapenos from 2019. So I just use it and then reseal it, and it's never let me down. So, and I have some carrots, dehydrated carrots. I've actually never tried rehydrating those. I'm half tempted to do that. I think I will, just to see what's going on with it. And then I have some ghost peppers, and that's, I'm not going to trust that now. So there was a lid failure there. That's going in the trash. Here's some more jalapenos. This obviously hasn't been resealed, but that was in our kitchen. Then we have some more celery, dehydrated celery. And then some green peppers, I think. Yeah, some bell peppers. And some garlic and tomato and all that stuff is dehydrated. So that's always an option for when you're trying to put together a meal from your pantry. So I'll get those vegetables from the garden all cleaned up and get them all ready. And then I'll bring it back when we start lighting that fire. All right, so I keep a little bit of kindling here, different sizes. I just throw them in these pails and keep them out in the open. And I just picked those up from the yard. And it did rain yesterday, so hopefully it's not too wet. In fact, speaking of rain, it looks like it's getting ready to right now. There's some winds are picking up, and it's getting kind of dark to the west of me, so see how it goes. All right, so I thought I was recording while I was getting that fire going, but apparently I wasn't, so there you go. Got some fire going, and I'm ready to go get the food ready while that's burning down. All right, this kind of sucks. It's starting to rain because I brought out my fire kit. I was gonna do the ferro rod. That just sounded like a fun thing to do, but it's all right. Bic lighter will work for now. So I've got all the vegetables prepped. So what we got here is onion, celery, bell pepper. Those rehydrated, I just been soaking them in a glass while I was doing everything else. The carrots that were dehydrated, along also the mushrooms. Then we have the jalapenos. Let's cover this up. The biggest challenge outside, obviously, is the flies and the bugs. Then in here I have, what do I have in here? I have parsley, chopped parsley, chives, garlic chives, and the green onion, and some basil. So that's all for the soup. And then of course we have the zucchini. So generally I would try to get my zucchini before it gets that big. So what we're going to do, because it is so big, it's coming down pretty good right now. That sucks. I'm going to go ahead and take off the greenness here. So I'm just going to peel it because this matured. To me, it tastes bitter, a little bitter, and it's a little tougher, although it doesn't feel tough now. So if it was, and also I'm going to de-seed it as well. And if it was smaller, I wouldn't even bother doing any of that. I would just cut it. So I'll go ahead and finish this up and bring it back in a second, because I value your time. All right, so it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I'm going to cut this in half just to make it a little more manageable. And then we're going to slice it right down the middle in both of these. And all I'm going to do is take a spoon. All right, so one thing to think about when you're, or one thing that I think about when I'm out here doing this kind of stuff, and see these seeds, I don't really want that seed bed in there on these older, more mature zucchini. See, it's like almost like pumpkin seeds. It's not something that I want in my soup. I mean, it's not gonna hurt you, but who wants to be chewing on those? So anyway, so back to my point. So when I was inside washing the vegetables and all that, you have to think, well, I wouldn't have access to the sink, possibly, you know, maybe not. Or if I'm out in the, you know, back of a car or something, because I had to bug out and I'm trying to cook out of a trunk of a car, a bed of a pickup or something, maybe I can find a stream or a clean lake or something, but water is important. So just making this soup, it's like, wow, every time I turn around, I'm using some water. So I'm going to put you through all of that. I just wanted to give you an idea what I was doing. Then I'll do the rest off camera. Again, because we value your time here at Next Step Survival. So, so I like them pretty, I mean, because these cook down quite a bit. So I like chunks about that big. Oh, I almost put that in the wrong pan. So I'll just keep throwing those in there. We'll be back with you when we get the zucchini cut up. All right, so I probably overdid it with the zucchini. I cut up all 3 of them. I just do them in that pan, that pot. And somewhere here we go. It's not what I wanted, but we can use it. I'm gonna throw my 2017 tomatoes in there. Oh, that looks great. Some people are like, oh God, that's gross. See that vacuum clearing out of there, so it's all good. I emptied my bowl. I think I'm gonna drain some of that water out of that chicken. I may go get another chicken. Put some of this broth. This is chicken bone broth that I made just a couple weeks ago, and see what the levels look like here in a second. Now I'm going to put in my vegetables. So this is quite a bit. So I'm going to start easing it in there and see what happens. So I still got to get my chicken in there. And you can always put some of this in the fridge. I think we're going to be all right. Of course, I didn't bring a spoon. All right, so I can go get that when I go get more chicken, because I'm pretty sure. There we go. So listening for that. You know what? I'm not even going. I'm just going to take it. It's just the natural juices. This is cold packed. Oh, that sounds not good. Oh, I got a spoon. I wanted to bring my big wooden spoon out here. Oh, look at that. This is one of them where I actually took the cooked the chicken legs. So I emptied this bowl out into my get these bones out of here, into my compost bin out there before I start putting in any kind of meat. So we don't want meat, at least I don't want meat in my compost. I know this looks gross and I probably should be wearing gloves, but I am outside and we are simulating a SHTF event, so I didn't have any gloves handy because of the natural disaster, whatever just happened to make me do all this. Anyway, just making sure there's no bones in there. There might be still. I am going to go get another jar of cold packed chicken though. All right, so I waited a little long and it died down, so I'd stoke it back up, put a couple more logs on there, and it's going a little bit too much right now, but it'll die down. Those coals underneath are hot, and it'll die down, and that just helped bring it up. And now it's just hurry up and wait. So I'll do that for you. Boy, she's boiling now. Need to raise this up a little bit, but I did add the rest of those vegetables, but I also tried to turn this pot because it keeps leaning to one side. I have no idea, probably the way this chain's on here. So I tried adjusting the tripod, and yeah, I keep spilling it, but I spilled a bunch of it in there, so I made room to put the rest of the vegetables in there, and it's doing a little bit more than simmering right now. It's boiling. That should die down pretty quick though, would think. Trying to find my thermometer. Oh, here it is. I stuck it in my pocket. So I imagine it's 300 and something degrees, right? So let's try it. Oh no, what is, I don't remember what boiling is. Yeah, we got about 208 degrees. 212, is that boiling? Wow, it's been a long time since I have to know that. All right, so that simmered down quite a bit, and it's looking good. It smells good, and as you can see, the dog's really wanting some. I think that's what he's saying over there. So it's really hot. A piece of zucchini in there, make sure that cooked down. There's carrots. So I did try this about an hour ago, and those carrots, they didn't get soft, but they're all right. You know, just a little chewy, but hey, that's the nature of dehydrated foods. So, oh yeah, this is nice and tender now. This zucchini, if it's not too hot. This is my chef spoon. I'm not a chef, but I saw on Amazon that you can buy a chef spoon. So I bought one, so maybe I am a chef now. Mosquitoes. It's good. It's got some kick to it too. It's a little spicy. I gotta get out of here. All right, well, sorry about all that barking. A lot of dogs in this neighborhood, and that's what they do. They bark. Love dogs though. So I enjoyed doing this video, I really did. It's nice to know that you can make a meal from your stored preps and do it outside without electricity. So a couple of comments that I got from the last video was, you know, you're gonna run out of propane, and even though I addressed that in it, yeah, sure you will, eventually, if things get bad enough. then you'll run out of kerosene, propane, whatever, you know, if things ever got that bad. Of course, that's not what I prepare for, but you know, it's always possible. Hopefully you'll be able to find wood. I mean, I'm surrounded by wood, so I'm assuming that we wouldn't run out of that, so I can always do this. I also want to try that fire pit with a grill cover, so around a grate, you know, that was on somebody's grill that they were throwing away. And I just pulled over and took it, and it's only like 13 inch. I want to grab a bigger one, like in some Weber or something, or I may even replace the one in my Weber and just use that. But something that I can lay on, set a skillet or something on top of that. I think that's always a good idea, or a good method of cooking on an open fire, even when you go camping. But yeah, so a couple of things. I mentioned the water. So the whole reason for me to do this is to give you an idea of what methods you might be able to come up with as far as cooking off grid and cooking from your pantry, but it's also to help me learn as well. So that's the first time I've done that without, you know, hanging a pot from a tripod like that over an open flame. I've cooked on, you know, camping and hiking and stuff on open fire, but never like that. So that was a nice experience. So I digressed a little bit there, sorry. So if you think about some of the things like the water, you might run out of the, you know, you may not have access to the water. That's something to think about, especially when I was like doing all the dishes and everything. I thought this would be very, very tough without running water. We had some very strong, should we call them ancestors, I guess, and to be able to function without it. Of course, they didn't know what they were missing. And other things are like these mosquitoes and stuff. I'm getting bit right now. I wasn't earlier today, but there was flies everywhere. Turned out they loved the zucchini, and I had the zucchini sitting right there. I'm like, what are all these flies? I never see all these flies, and all of a sudden, and it was that zucchini. I had it sitting there, and it was attracting them. So as soon as I got that put up, I cleaned it up, put it in the house and everything. I need to get it out of the sun anyway. The flies dissipated a little bit. I won't have a fan, so you know the heat. It was a very beautiful day this week, actually today and yesterday. The entire weekend has been gorgeous. But you know, you have to deal with the elements, right? So if you're out here doing that, it rained a little bit, but that wasn't a big deal. But you know, if it's cold, it's cold. It's hot, it's hot. Not a lot you can do about it, right? So those are things to think about. And then of course the cleanup, and then the storage once you're done. So if I cooked that much soup and it was truly off grid and a SHTF type of event, then I would have to can it, right? So then I would have to get that going and start canning that soup. So that's what we'd have to do there. All right, we'll talk to you later. This has been fun. Brian Hawkins, Next Step Survival, out. It's good. I like it. So I got a little kick. Do you like it?
Oh yeah, I really like it. It's very good.
There you go. She never lies. See ya.